The Minding Your Business podcast is brought to you as always by Brooks Brothers Consulting, Inc. Brooks Brothers was founded by myself and my brother Philip back in June of 2013. And there are three primary ways that we add value to the community. One being leadership talent development for new and existing executives, directors, and managers within small to mid-sized companies. If you have newly promoted leadership or you've acquired and hired new leadership, you need the kind of coaching and development for them to develop the kind of critical skill thinking that it takes to drive organizations from a sales, service, operations, and employee engagement standpoint. You need to give us a call, 901-299-6822. Again, that's 901-299-6822, or you can visit us at, again, www.brooksbrothersconsulting.com. You can email me directly, ron@brooksbrothersconsulting.com. Second thing we do that we're going to talk about in today's episode number 41, which is lending, alternative financing. We have access to 4,000 private lenders and banks all around the country that do everything from equipment financing and leasing to investment property purchases and refinances to factoring, invoice financing, individual personal loans, working capital, real estate investing, whatever it is that you're looking to do where you want to be able to leverage a lending vehicle in a more streamlined fashion, where you're partners with that. And we can connect you to the lenders that are looking to do business with you every day. So again, you can still communicate with me, 901-299-6822. And then last but certainly not least is our legacy piece of our business at Brooks Brothers Consulting, where we provide insurance solutions for those that are looking to solidify their financial legacy, if they're looking to build on it, looking to have a living benefit, or looking to provide a death benefit and a pass on of their legacy, their financial legacy, to heirs or to other family members, friends, or even organizations. And so, again, these are the three-headed areas: legacy, leadership, and lending that we provide with Brooks Brothers Consulting. So get with us, 901-299-6822, www.brooksbrothersconsulting.com. Again, today is episode number 41, everybody. I'm so excited. Man, this is incredible to be able to get to this many episodes this quickly. And so without any delay, let's go ahead and hit the music.
What we do here is go back. Oh yeah. I'm your host, Champ Ron. This is the Minding Your Business podcast coming to you as I always do every Friday afternoon. Today is March the 30th. We're kind of right at the end of the month of March. Good Friday for many of those that celebrate the holiday that's coming this weekend, that is commonly referred to as the Easter holiday. So this is referred to as the Easter weekend for many people here locally in Memphis and around the country and even around the world and around the planet Earth. So glad that you all could join me on today. I want to be impactful. I want to be brief. But I want to speak on a certain subject. We're at episode number 41, and we're going to talk some about alternative financing. But before I do that, I want to give a special shout out to a good friend, good brother, Mr. Gerald Jones with the Buy Black podcast. That's buyblackpodcast.com. On yesterday evening, I had the great opportunity to be a part and be a guest on his particular podcast, and I was able to talk transparently
and authentically about my background and how I got to be where I am and where I'm heading and what do I do and what do I don't do and all those different things. And so be sure to check that out and all the episodes on the BuyBlackPodcast.com with the host there, Gerald Jones, does a phenomenal job with connecting the community to resources. And I was glad I was able to search one on one of the recent episodes that will come out probably later on this month. I continue to support Dominic Lawson with Owls LLC with the Startup Life. He's got some great episodes lined up, I'm sure, but they're great episodes already. If you're looking to start your business or you're still kind of working your 9 to 5, you're an employeepreneur, or you're an employee and you're looking to start up, he provides great content nuggets and best practices again on how to be able to do that and again tying you to resources. So definitely make sure you support the Startup Life, and you can find that everywhere that you find podcast content, whether that's on iTunes or iHeartRadio, Stitcher, SoundCloud, wherever that is. They also have a Facebook page that you could connect with as well. So this has been really an interesting week for me personally. I've had several great meetings. I've been in Arkansas this week working with people. I've been here in Memphis, all around the city. I've been in Mississippi, down in the South Haven, DeSoto County area. So, man, I've been burning the midnight oil, and I've been rolling. So I'm over here. I'm with the PHP team, PHP agency over here on Kirby Parkway at 3319 Kirby. Wante Stewart, Ruben, Sable, that whole team, just phenomenal over here, man. And they've accepted me and welcomed me with open arms as I've added it as a line of business within Brooks Brothers Consulting. So let's go ahead and dive in. What I want to talk about today, y'all, is being able to utilize financing and lending financing, oftentimes beyond even the bank and the credit union level, to achieve your goals, whether it's individual goals or those are professional goals with your business or organization. Let me start here because many people who may be listening to this podcast may be income challenged, you may be credit challenged, you may be business model challenged and things like that. One of the things that I start off with before we get into talking about any loan products or any type of financing, creative financing, alternative financing, whatever that is, one of the first things I always like to do from a consultative standpoint is sit down and listen. And what I'm listening for is you to explain your business model and you explain the need for financing, the need for cash. Oftentimes what's happened in my experience, and I come from banking, I've got over 16-year career in banking from every level, from the branch manager level to business banker, commercial lending, and leadership from the manager, director, and even the executive level, and running an entire team of retail and sales associates. One of the things that I always find very interesting is people really don't understand all the different options that they have out here. And we're certainly one of them, but because you have those challenges doesn't mean that you should be nervous about that or fearful of that. A lot of deals get done where they're not always the cookie cutter clean kind of thing. People have a number of different challenges that they're working to overcome or may not even be aware that they have. And so what I try to do first and foremost with any of my lines of business, but certainly on the lending side, is I want to make sure you understand what the need is. Getting a loan just for the sake of getting a loan is not something that I do. So I'm not looking to connect you with private lenders just to drive more debt and make a bad situation worse. What I listen for is for people who have a vetted out and good sound understanding of their business model and how everything circulates within that model. Have you done that? Have you vetted it out? Or have you just seen a meme somewhere, or you listened to someone else's podcast, or you went to some networking event or whatever that is, and someone told you something and you just ran and jumped on it? I was just talking with Wante and Ruben here at the PHP agency, and we were talking about how people sometimes don't like to vet out their business model because they don't like to do the research, or their research is limited to Google and all that kind of stuff. That's the only extent of their research is what somebody told them and Google, right? And those very limited secondary data. What you have to do is you have to have an identity. And I said this in a content piece earlier this week is, y'all know who Batman is, right? Batman does what he does. He don't try to be nothing other than who he is. When you see the bat signal, you know what's up. When you see that Superman emblem, you see the Wonder Woman logo, you see Flash, you see the Hulk, you see Iron Man. They all do what they do. Captain America, Black Panther, they all do what they do. They don't try to do what the other one does, right? Superman don't try to be Batman. Black Panther don't try to be Batman, and you know, all down the line. Wonder Woman don't try to be Aquaman. You know, everybody does what they do, and so it's super critical that you have that. So one of the things I'm looking for before we get into anything is, do you have a firm understanding of your model and what it is that you're trying to do? Once we clear that hurdle, then it's about, what do you need the money for? What are you going to use it for? I'm an advocate, again, of people not getting money. So I'm not going to give you $100,000 line of credit so you can go run down to the casino and you can run to the beach and you can take selfies doing this and buying that and doing all that and rack up debt and not have a way to satisfy it. So I'm not looking to create further economic slaves with the lending program. And I haven't had that issue, but I think it's worth saying that you have to have an understanding. And that's what I help you do. If you don't have those answers, that's what I'm there for. I'm there to then help you be able to get a firm grasp of the business model. You may not always like what I say. I may say something that pisses you off because if your skill set doesn't match it, you don't have the passion, you haven't done the research, I'm going to send you back to the drawing board. If you do have that, if you understand what it is that you're looking to do, you're not just being 100% speculative and doing a lot of hoping. Well, I hope if this happens, I hope if that happens. That doesn't work in the lending world. Think about it. When you're taking risks, you want as much surety as possible. And that's what you have to create within yourself. You have to create as much surety. Because what does a lender want? A lender wants to be able to do good loans to good people, good business models that are going to pay them back with interest. That's what a lender wants. And then they want to be able to duplicate that and do it again or be referred within your network. That's what a lender wants. There's not a lot of charity work in that. Most of these lenders are not nonprofits and all that kind of thing. And that's so big here in Memphis because there's so much need. People think with a nonprofit mentality with everything, that everything's just this fiduciary duty, right? And many things are. But in this case, you've got to be able to showcase some surety that you're a good credit risk. And I help you do that. And you got to make sure that you understand what the money's going to. So are you buying the property? Why? To do what? And have you vetted out? Do you understand values? Do you understand the expenses? Do you have the marketing kind of talent or background, or have you hired anybody? We had Danielle Reed, who's a brand ambassador here in the city, one of the only Google representatives from a marketing standpoint in the state of Tennessee. She was on the show about a month ago, and she spoke some about marketing and advertising and branding. And when I talk with people and they have these big elaborate dreams, no experience ever doing anything, they just hop from one model to another, and then they don't have any kind of marketing plan. That's one of the first things. What I need to know is, do you have the capacity to be able to do it? Do you understand your business model? And then do you have a vetted plan? Do you have a plan that makes sense? And how are you investing in that plan? And are there various angles to be able to support your project, no matter what that is, whether you're buying equipment? I'll talk about real estate investors in a little bit. You're looking to factor, you're looking to finance invoices, whatever that is, right? I want to make sure that you have a good, solid, firm marketing plan. All right. So essentially at Brooks Brothers, we've got several different ways that we can connect you with 4,000 lenders all around the country. And shout out to my business partner, Mr. John White with Intro Business Solutions, introbusinesssolutions.com. But John has been a phenomenal partner with me for a little bit of time, and it's been great to be able to work with him and kind of grow and solidify this business. But after you get past understanding, those three areas that I mentioned, then we got to be able to connect you with the right lender. And I've got access to over 4,000 lenders. These are private banks and kind of private individuals or groups of people who have created entities for the sole sake of providing financing, oftentimes for individuals or small business. So for personal loans, those are typically from $1,000 at a minimum up to $50,000. So from $1,000 to about $50,000, $50,000 being the max kind of loan amount we do on a personal side. On the business side, we would do anything from as low as $5,000 all the way up to $500 million. So from about $5,000 to about $500 million is kind of the swim lane that the vast majority of the lenders will work in. The average deal that I do right now is probably about $150,000. That's on average if you were to combine everything on the business side. Personally, it's about maybe about $10,000. About $10,000 to $15,000 will be the average. But you got to get an understanding of how we can get you connected. So what I like to do is sit down, consult with you, get an understanding of the business, an understanding of where you're trying to go and what you're trying to do. So for example, one of the things that's really hot right now, and it's been hot in Memphis for some time, is people looking to acquire or refinance real estate. They're looking to purchase condos, apartment complexes, single family housing, multi-unit plexes, fourplexes, whatever they can kind of get their hands on, because Memphis has very reasonable real estate costs. And so a lot of investors have revenue that your tenant is paying you on a monthly basis. So you got to understand that. You've got to understand the market. You got to understand the long-term value in terms of your investment. And you've got to be able to think like the underwriter. The underwriter is looking at, do you understand the business? Do you understand the property? Have you done this before? Do you have experience in buying real estate? If you've got experience, that's great. If you don't, that's okay, right? That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you be able to structure and look in the best light with the lender. My clients do not pay me. So when I meet with you, it's a free consultation. There's no fee. There's no fee to the lender. There's no fee to me. The lender compensates me when the deal is done. So when the deal is done and you get the cash, that's when the lender compensates me. So there's no downside to meeting with me and adding me kind of to your team. I can be a big resource there. But, so with investment property, typically we're doing about 85% loan to value on those. So that's really strong in the market if you were to compare that with some of the banks and credit unions on investment property. So you're only looking at about 15% down as a down payment. Again, that's very strong. Credit scores, we're looking in the low 600s as a minimum. So that's 600, 620, somewhere in there on a minimum basis is a nice sweet spot for a beginning. Typically, we need a sales contract. We do need bank statements. And I want to touch on bank statements for a quick second because a lot of people, and I know how people tend to think about things, they don't have a business account. And what you'll learn and you got to clean up and then teach younger people is to stop messing over banking relationships. A lot of people, they, in their early 20s and stuff, they fall in love. They co-signing for cars. They're jumping on bank accounts with people. They're jumping on apartment complex leases and things like that. And then the business doesn't get handled. And then they're left with that on their record. And that is just, you've got to get past that. Make sure you clean it up, work with it, and teach your younger folks, man, to not get into that because it's killing people's credit and their collections and all these kind of things. So there's a lot of education that needs to go about. And quite frankly, that's what PHP and Wante and his team are all about. And so it's phenomenal to have that kind of advocacy, and there are many others who have that. So, when you look at investment property, after you get past the loan to value and the credit score and things like that, with your bank statements, you can have personal bank statements, but set up a business account. You register your business, you get a business license, you register it with the state, you get the tax ID, and you do all this stuff. Get you a business account. Go by one of the banks that's got, if they still have a free checking account that doesn't have fees and things like that, or minimum balance requirements. One avenue that I personally have used is Capital One. Capital One has a program for business checking accounts that you can actually go online. You do it all online. You set up your checking account. They get your debit card. You could use their app to deposit checks. You can't deposit in the ATM, but you can go to the ATM with your debit card and things like that. And you can order checks if you want to. But they've got a really good program that's no minimum balance and really easy to do with your business. You just upload the documents and they set up the account for you. It usually takes about a day or two for them to do that. But if you want to be able to just do that from the comfort of your PC or laptop or tablet, feel free to do so. And then there's several banks I could refer you to and people to be able to get that done. But get you a business account, because what the lenders tend to want to see is activity in a business account, particularly if you want the loan to be under the business. So you got to be able to do that. So I encourage you today, as a best practice, go get your business account set up. And, you say, well, Ron, I don't have any money, and, all my money's going to bills, and I don't have no money to put in the account. Well, just start running some transactions through it. Take $20, take $50, take $100. Even, if you're working and you're getting a paycheck, let your paycheck go into your business account and then just use it and just have it come out periodically, particularly with your business expenses. So you're going to have business expenses, deposit that money in a business account, and then transact off of it. That just shows the activity and shows that you're actually building a business model that makes sense. And so I encourage you all to do that, because I run into it so many times when I'm looking to do deals and people only have personal bank statements and things like that. So if you are interested in investment property, and you're out there, you're listening to the podcast, you're on Facebook Live, you need to get with me. You need to email me, ron@brooksbrothersconsulting.com, ron@brooksbrothersconsulting.com, or you can call me direct, 901-299-6822, 901-299-6822. Call me, text me, whatever it is that you need to do. But you need to get with me, and we've got a streamlined process. Pretty much, we can get it done with a full package. So if you get all the documents in, you've got a full package, we can close. We can get an approval and close all within about 10 business days, 7 to 10 business days, which is fairly quick. And so I've got lenders that are hungry that can get the job done with that. If you happen to have equipment, if you are looking to purchase it, lease it, refinance, whatever it is, factoring. If you're interested and you've got invoices that you want to get paid on, you're trying to collect, and your accounts receivables kind of building up, and you need cash to be able to go do the next job, the next contract. Factoring could be a very easy way. The underwriting on it is fairly clean and fairly loose. Worked well with startups, and it's a great way to get that initial financing to keep moving while you're waiting on collections and things like that. We talked about equipment, working capital lines of credit, working capital term loans, and things like that. One of the other things that you need to be a little leery of is we may not always can do the whole amount of your request all at once. Sometimes I'll get a request that might be 200 or 300,000, but you may not have quite the pedigree to do that all at once. And so be willing to do projects in stages sometimes. Sometimes we may have to start with 25,000, let the lender get a good confidence in what you're doing, and then just keep building, off of that. So don't be shy or timid
about or have a closed mind towards being able to do some financing kind of in phases or kind of stair steps. So credit, even on equipment, things like that. We've done things even in the sub 600s. And there's so many ways now that you can get credit repaired. You've got my guy, Deverick Watson with Credible Concepts, does a great job. John White does a great job with Intro Business Solutions and his team. Deverick and his team, like I just said. Nicole Brown, Nikki Brown. I know why I'm calling her Nicole. Nikki Brown does a phenomenal job with her company, with FES. Financial education specialist, I believe. So there's so many different outlets, for that. Just be careful with who you do business with. But the three that I mentioned are phenomenal for you to be able to reach out to. You can reach out to me, and I can get you plugged in. But work on your credit, work on your financial setup and things like that, and then we can do business. I've got actually links that I can send you if you want to be able to apply online. Keep in mind, we do business all around the country, so we're in all 50 states, so they're not limited to any place. And so, hey, what's going on, Doc? How you doing? Oh, I didn't even see you. Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, just doing the show, just doing the podcast. Yeah. So now I know how to do it. Yeah. Hey, y'all say what's up to my guy.
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Yeah, so we're here. I told you we're here at PHP, and we've got great professionals here that are doing their thing and here in the office, man. So, man, it's Friday. They're doing their thing, and I love it. I love being part of the team. And so, when you look at the whole opportunity to be able to gain financing and things like that, I've got the links to be able to do that. I got one web page for personal loans and another web page for business loans that will allow you, if you've heard of Lending Tree and that kind of thing, this will allow you to gain offers and approvals for your loan request with soft pulls to your credit. And that's key, as I was just talking about credit. So there's not a initial hard pull. It's a soft pull, so it doesn't show as an inquiry on your credit report, and you can get approvals from that way. And that's very critical because you want to be leery of adding in a bunch of hard inquiries, on your credit report. And so what you want to be able to do is at least have an idea that a lender can do business with you, is willing to do business with you before you do that, just as a good faith. So I encourage you all to check out those websites. Again, reach out to me, give me a call, shoot me an email, and I will get those links to you. And you can always, again, come to me at brooksbrothersconsulting.com. So just to kind of recap, a lot of things that are needed to get a loan started. So make sure that you have these things handy. We talked about bank statements. Go ahead and have 3 to 6 months ready to go to be able to provide. Obviously, a copy of your ID so we can verify who you are and that kind of thing. 2 years of tax returns. I know right now everybody may not have completed their 2017 return. That's fine. If you got 20, that if you're refunding anything, obviously we need to have the latest statement and things like that from the company that would be paid off. So, that's just some of the basic information in terms of what's needed. There are different pieces of information here or there that may be needed, just depending on the size of your loan and kind of the scope of it. The value of the real estate may require an appraisal and some things like that. And so definitely with the lenders that I've got all around the country, I've got someone that's willing to do business with just about everybody that I come in contact with. But I wanted to make sure that you understand and can prepare yourself to be able to do that. So I hope this information has been valuable to anybody. Again, brooksbrothersconsulting.com is the website. Call me, 901-299-6822, 901-299-6822. Email me, Ron at brooksbrothersconsulting.com.
And listen, today's Friday. It's a good Friday. Let's get back out here. Let's get business cracking. I love you referrals. I do pay referral fees back to those as an incentive for making referrals on closed business. So if you happen to know somebody who is looking for financing, business or personal, get them to me. And if we're able to do the loan and close it, I will have something very special for you in the form of a referral incentive. So I'm your host, Champ Ron. This is the Minding Your Business podcast. We'll catch you again next week. We're going to do it all over again with some more great content. Peace out, y'all.